While I wait for people to come in, I thought I'd like to explain this picture a little bit on the screen. This is a telescope that I sort of finished making a few years ago. It's never really finished, but I had ground the mirror when I was in college. Well, many years later, after I got married and had kids, one of my kids, who's standing behind me just on the edge of the screen on the right, his name is Joseph. He had read a book by Isaac Asimov on the inner planets, and he was enthralled with Venus, and he had read about this once in a lifetime event that was going to happen in 2012 called the Transit of Venus. And so that year, he said, it's going to happen in June. He says, Dad, could you finish your telescope so we could watch this event? And I says, okay, well, I'll try. Well, it happened to be a very tough time for me. I was under a lot of stress and at work, and I was having some serious health issues. And I just felt I couldn't do it. I told Joseph, I can't do this. I'm sorry. We'll go watch it, but we can't watch it with a telescope. And he said, Daddy, I'm going to pray. He was not giving up. And so I kind of felt like, well, gee, I better finish this. So somehow God gave me the strength to finish the telescope. But one of the things, you can see the little silver shield on the end. That's to keep your eye from burning out when you look through the telescope when it's pointed at the sun. Turns out there was a big run on those that year because of this big once in a lifetime event. So I ordered the stuff, and I wondered if it was going to come up in time. It showed up like a day early or so before the big event. And so I quick ginned up a holder to put on the end of the telescope, and I finally on the day of the event in the morning, I took it out to look at the sun, and it was cloudy. It's like, oh my goodness, how on earth are we going to watch this once in a lifetime event when it's going to be cloudy? And the weather forecast, as I recall, was not that good for Cleveland. Well, wouldn't you know that the clouds just parted in time? I could test out my shield and everything worked. So we packed up the car and went down to Edgewater Park and got just a wonderful views of the transit of Venus, and we had a big line forming behind the telescope. Little kids wanting to take a look, and you'd see my toolbox down there that kids would stand on in order so that they could get high enough. So anyway, that's my story.